Regardless of your lifestyle, when you step into new environments and try new activities, essentially you're giving yourself a personal upgrade. It doesn't have to cost a lot, but the results that you experience are priceless. Hello, and welcome to the Connect Podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to this solo episode. The sun is shining after some much needed rain yesterday, and my mood is matching the outdoor glow. I don't know when this glow is going to fade, but I'm feeling really good. I shared a brief story in Monday's minisode, episode 202, of how an adventure I went on taught me a lot about how I ask for and receive support in my life. If this is something that you find yourself growing into, have a listen to it. It's a really fun one. I mentioned also that this was just one piece of a whirlwind week that I experienced on my 50th birthday week last week. I had no idea I'd still be sharing more after having done a 50th birthday episode last Wednesday, episode 201, but here I am. There's just too much to share that I believe may be of benefit to you. I was expecting to have kind of a low-key week, kind of an open week to reflect and enjoy some time with my loves in a really relaxed way. And it turned out to be a week that felt like a month, but all of good things. I do not regret it in any way. It was the most beautiful experience of celebration that I have experienced in a long time. To know how people feel about you is pretty magical. I mean, you must look in your own life, look around you, and kind of have an idea of how people feel about you, especially if they do tell you. I'm really grateful to have good friends and amazing family and my loves here at home who are very verbal and demonstrative in how they feel about me. And I do that too. I'm a hugger. I love words of affirmation are my number one love language. So as a result, I always share them. I can't help myself. I love to see the good in others. In this past week, I received all of that back and then some. I could not believe it. And yet I just found myself sitting in gratitude, so much gratitude, savoring the people in my life. And I realized that I am a very, 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 very wealthy woman. I am wealthy in incredible connections and friendships and family. And I am also feeling really just so filled up that I want to share some of the things that I did last week and how all of us have access, regardless of what type of lifestyle we live. We do have access to new experiences, even if it means driving to a little different corner of the town that you live in to go on a walk in a new area, in a new trail or something like that, or to be able to get out into nature in a different piece of your city that you've maybe never seen before. When I do that, when I get to a new place, it reminds me of the abundance that exists around us, and it is free. And then, of course, there's the other things that we can do that, it might be a new restaurant or a new event experience. And that was really what my dear friend took me on earlier in the week. And then the rest of my family pulled me through beautiful experiences the rest of the week. So I started off by realizing partway through a lovely spa experience that my friend brought me to, that it was all organized by my incredible husband of almost 26 years. In a couple of weeks, we celebrate 26 years married. He had orchestrated everything a month prior to have us have an overnight at a spa in a local, beautiful country house. And it was lovely. And we spent some time talking. And this is a dear high school friend that I went with, and we've been friends for many years. And it was wonderful having that time together to be able to be quiet and alone and just converse and be in nature together and try some fun new experiences that she, unbeknownst to my husband, even had put together. Because we had spent a lot of time in our young lives together, just the two of us. And we lived together for a while and we worked together. We did a lot of cool stuff. And we sang together as well. And so the conversation, I mean, goodness, it was so nourishing. And a lot of it also was us reflecting and thinking about how we've grown into the people that we are and what's brought us to this point. And there's so much power in doing this. I do this on my own in my journals, but there's something about having that witness of someone else who has watched you grow through the years and where you're celebrating each other's successes and you are lifting each other up and also talking about what's next, not just sitting in the good old days, but like, hey, what do we have to offer now? We both turned 50 this year, or she turned 50 late last year, and I turned 50 this year. And it's easy to not really think about the numbers of age because life gets so busy, you just move forward. But when you really think about it, wow, a lot happens in that space of time. So we did that, and she took me on this beautiful high ropes and zipline adventure over the Niagara Falls Gorge, which was what I talked about in Monday's episode. So if you haven't listened, go check it out. Then we had a beautiful lunch overlooking the Falls View restaurant, overlooking the falls at the Falls View restaurant in Niagara. And we headed back to our country house where we were staying and just enjoyed taking in the sights and had a beautiful, very long, like 3.5 hour fine dining experience as well, where every single morsel, oh, it was so divine. This was the Langdon Hall, which is actually in the town I live, but it's like we were somewhere across the world. We felt so set apart in being in this beautiful environment. And every single morsel was incredible that we ate. And the conversation was beautiful as well. And then the next day we headed to some spa stuff. And then we went on some wine tours in Niagara-on-the-Lake and toured the beautiful town and all the flowers. And we ended the day with dinner and a magic show, which was like being in Vegas at Falls View, in Niagara as well. And so that was like 2 beautiful days that I experienced. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. That's more activity than I've had in a while. And I think it was extra heightened because everyone has been kind of shuttered over the last few years, just starting to make their way out into the world in my area where I live anyway. And so it was super special. And again, the lessons that we learned, we extracted so many different things from that. And what I really came away with was that regardless of any of our lifestyles, when you step into new environments and try new activities, because like I had never done high ropes and zip line. I'd never been to a magic show actually. And there was a live tiger and that was really cool and interesting. And like, I'm glad that this tiger was somewhat restrained. That was good. And I had never done a wine tour. And here's something interesting. Here I am, 50. I'd never done a wine tour because I'd occasionally have a glass of wine. It's not really been, the connoisseur thing's never really been my thing. And so I thought, oh, it's not my thing. So I never really looked at it. And yet, because it's something so different, it's actually something that I could still learn a lot from. And you don't have to be the expert at everything, right? Like sitting at the feet of people and learning something completely out of your wheelhouse is so, so powerful. So I went through that experience and came away realizing I want to do more things like this. It was beautiful. And just being in nature too and seeing how these grapes are grown and just all the different varieties and hearing about all the science behind really what happens when you're creating wine. Of course, that the kind of science geek in me comes out. And so that's really fascinating. And then of course we talk about, well, I always think about, well, how does this impact us? And there are benefits to our health with some types of things, certain amount of consumption, et cetera. And so that was really cool. So truly, it doesn't have to cost a lot. But regardless of your lifestyle, when you step into new environments and try new activities, you're giving yourself a personal upgrade. It's a personal upgrade. You are adding to your own personal value, and you're also expanding your horizons about what is possible for you. And so the next day I spent some time with my son. My other son was working, and we went out and did some errands and ended up at a dear, dear friend's home. And these were my bonus parents back in high school, and they have such a special place in my heart. They were very involved in a lot of my spiritual growth as a teen, and they've been married many years. I want to say 55. They were high school sweethearts, and the way they live, the way they serve, the way they love, tangibly, they've made a huge mark in this world in the most beautiful way. And they gifted me with some beautiful jewelry to remind me of the link between our families, because my parents and them were close. And during a time where I was living with these bonus parents, because of music, it kept me traveling, and just for ease, it was a beautiful place for me to be. And my parents were excited about that. And that's a story I'll go into at some point. Some of my formative things that, again, as you look back, you learn lessons looking backwards sometimes, right? And I love to share those things. And so they gifted me with this beautiful jewelry, and my bonus mom said, "This is from your mom number one, and me, mom number two." And if you've been listening for a while, you know that I lost my mother in 2018. She passed away, and my father passed away in 2020. And so it was a very emotional time. There was a beautiful card that she read to me, and we were both crying, and it just was so poignant, because she really made me understand that here she is able to witness her family growing up and having her grown children, her grown grandchildren, and now 4 great-grandchildren. And she gets to see me turn 50, and she got to see her daughter turn 50. And my mom may not have witnessed that, but there is this kind of connection that just made me feel just so good, so extra loved. So that was so beautiful, and I'm so grateful for that, and for the ongoing connection I have with these lovely people in my life. And then Thursday, we did some other things. I feel like just the week just expanded, and I had to really take some moments to really take it in. I had a beautiful walk with a girlfriend first thing, and she gave me some beautiful, lovely, some of her favorite things as a gift, which is lovely. And then that evening I had rosé on the patio with a girlfriend as well, and some beautiful conversation. And then Friday, I was getting all ready to leave, because Saturday I ended up going up to my brother and sister-in-law's cottage, and we spent the weekend there. And that had been unexpected as well. And so it was just such a beautiful culmination of a week that, like I said, it felt like a month. And the people in my life organized all of this, and it made me feel just so incredibly seen and loved and celebrated. And it makes me want to love and celebrate so many of the other people in my life as well. And so I really wanted to share that with you, because the lessons from this is that I keep taking away is, yes, the support lesson I talked about in Monday's episode, but also the receiving. To be able to receive from people and truly feel that gratitude and savor it is so important. And it's something that we can take into every area of our life as well. It can be easy to be someone who is a giver, always wanting to help others, and being afraid to receive, or no, I just like to give. Receiving, it's awkward. You feel put in the spotlight maybe, and you feel maybe like, oh, it's too much. And yet we all love the feeling of giving to someone who we care about, and seeing that look on their face when they're surprised and where they're so grateful. And so the giving and receiving is really a symbiotic experience. We all need to be doing that. And so I invite you into being able to receive the goodness in your life, whether it's what you are building for yourself or what others are showing to you and bringing to you. And this episode being about how new environments and activities fuel your growth, what I came away from this week with was that I'm right on time. So often we can feel like oh no, running out of time, another birthday, another anniversary. Oh my goodness, have I experienced everything I want to experience and accomplished everything I want to accomplish? And you know what? You and I are right where we need to be. And we can look at these new experiences that we put ourselves in, these new activities, and we can bring beautiful lessons out of them that can help fuel us and really help us upgrade into the next version of ourselves, whatever that may be. It may be the next version of your work, a deeper connection in your relationships. Finally picking up a hobby that you've been putting off because you realize, okay, if not now, when? When will I do it? If not now? That's a powerful question to ask yourself. And I do find myself asking that quite a bit. This whole season for me has been like a rebirth, and I'm excited to share what is to come as it unfolds. I am, again, working on a beautiful app right now to guide women into their most healthy, vibrant, really soul-led and divinely sourced wellness and purpose. I'm so excited about it. So stay tuned. I'll be talking more about that through the summer as I get ready to launch it. And in the meantime, I invite you into the idea of finding some new environments to place yourself in, whether it is a group of women or a group of, mixed people to learn new things, whether it is a new activity, whether it is travel, whether it is even just taking a walk in a different place or taking a different route home from work in your car, whatever the case, trying new food. I invite you into the newness because that is where you will find your growth comes. I'm so appreciative of you listening. So thank you. And I also wanted to share a quick note that because I knew this season was going to be filled with so much inquiry and so much reflection, I created spaciousness this summer. And because of that, I have some spots for some one-on-one clients to join me. If you want to gain traction in your health or business goals, this container that I've created is designed for you. And the framework includes 3 months of private coaching, 2 60-minute calls per month, Voxer support between sessions. And just so you know, Voxer is a private encrypted messaging app, and it's a way for me to stay in touch with you and for you to stay in touch with me between our calls. We cover anything from you moving to your next level to integrating habits, which is huge, right? Actually integrating them so you're benefiting from them, not just thinking about doing them, but you're doing them, to upholding boundaries in the area of your life or business that you most want to elevate. And we do it in a way that is celebratory, gracious, and open-hearted. And I love how this type of container supports you in being consistent because there are consistent touch points for us to see where you're at, to see how you're moving forward, and also to notice where you might be feeling stuck. So once you get those places going, you can actually get the movement forward that you want because you're not doing it alone. My favorite part is always celebrating the moving forward. Like that is that's my joy. So go to sheilabatello.com/apply to discuss the details, and you will see it also linked in the show notes. I invite you into the rest of this week with the idea that you can try new things and you are magic. You truly are. And I'm grateful that you are here with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Big blessings. Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.